A lot of new cameras have hit the market over the past several months. And if you're a wildlife photographer, many of these are absolutely worth paying attention to. The Canon EOS R6 gives you more resolution, fast shooting, and pre-capture features. The Sony a7 IV brings strong autofocus, a partially stacked sensor, and access to one of the best lens ecosystems in the mirrorless world. And of course, most recently, Sony also announced the brand new a7R6, a 68 megapixel camera that shoots 30 frames per second and comes with a whole bunch of more great features. The Nikon Z5 gives photographers a more affordable way into full frame mirrorless without immediately jumping into those super high flagship prices. The Panasonic Lumix S1, what an interesting camera for hybrid shooters, right? People who care just as much about wildlife video as they do still images. But here's where I think a lot of photographers buying a new camera get things a little bit wrong. The question they are asking themselves is, which brand released the best camera? They should be asking the question, which camera is actually the best fit for me? Brand loyalty arguments that we often see, in my opinion, they're just straight up ridiculous. Now, I'm a Sony shooter and I obviously support Sony because I believe in their products. But I'm not in denial that other camera manufacturers also make great products, and there's no shame in saying that. There is no such thing as a perfect camera or a perfect camera brand. But these absurd online arguments over cameras is just absolutely baffling to me. Canon shooters will defend Canon. Sony will defend Sony cameras. And Nikon shooters are, of course, going to defend Nikon. And Panasonic shooters will tell you their system is underrated. But none of that matters when you're standing out in the field trying to photograph a bird in flight, a deer in low light, or a small subject that needs heavy cropping. Your camera brand is not supposed to be your identity. It's supposed to be a tool. So in this video, we're going to talk why the best camera for you is not always the one with the loudest fan base, the newest logo, or comes with the most hype. The best camera is the one that supports your subject, your shooting style, your budget, and your lens choices. And of course, the way you actually work in the field.
But you're stronger than you know. You'll never be alone. When everything feels dark around, just look inside where light is found.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Jeff, and I'm a professional wildlife photographer living in Charleston, South Carolina. This is a place for photographers who want to learn how to create better wildlife photos. Photos that are more compelling, meaningful, and emotional. Now, new cameras are exciting. There are a lot of new bodies photographers are talking about right now, and many of them have features that wildlife photographers should honestly care about. More resolution, better autofocus, faster shooting, pre-capture, better video, better stabilization, better subject tracking. But here's the problem. Every time a new camera comes out, photographers get all crazy. They seem to stop thinking clearly and they start to defend their favorite brand. But your camera brand is not a sports team. You do not get better photos because you were loyal to a name or even a logo. You get better results when your camera actually supports the way you shoot. The best camera for wildlife photography is not always the newest camera. It's not always the most expensive camera or the camera your favorite brand just released. This video is not going to be just another YouTube video talking about specific camera models and their specs and put them in a rating. There's enough of those videos out there already. This video is going to be something far more valuable in my opinion. I want to walk through the process of actually buying a camera for wildlife photography. Not the hype, not the brand loyalty, not the comment section, right, where all the arguments take place, but the real process. What you should actually consider before you spend your hard-earned money. Because the truth is, most modern cameras are all pretty good. But the last thing anyone wants is to spend thousands of dollars on a camera or even a lens and regret that decision. Now, I used to be a Nikon DSLR shooter, right? I was using the Nikon D850. What a great camera. I absolutely love that camera. But mirrorless was really starting to take off. And I will admit, at first, I was very skeptical of the mirrorless technology. And I wasn't completely convinced that it was the technology of the future. But my reluctance quickly changed as I saw that I was wrong. I started researching the mirrorless technology at that time and the products that were, being put out by the various brands. And ultimately, I landed on Sony because at that time, their technology was pretty much way ahead of everyone else, especially from an autofocus standpoint. But more importantly, when I put a Sony camera in my hand, I felt something that you just really can't measure: confidence. When DSLRs, were out, you essentially really had to use the viewfinder to take photos, right? You really couldn't use the back screen because high level, it just wasn't as accurate. But with mirrorless, you can use the viewfinder and the back screen. And it really felt like I became more creative when holding a Sony camera in my hand. Obviously, this didn't necessarily make me more creative. And I honestly don't know if my images had improved at all, but that really wasn't the point. The fact that you believe in your equipment and it promotes confidence when you're using it is something that is truly invaluable. This isn't about what you might photograph one particular day or even every now and then. It's not about what looks exciting in a YouTube video that you watched. What do you photograph most of the time? Because photographers have different needs. A photographer who photographs birds in flight has very different needs than a photographer who's out photographing large animals like an elephant. Photographers who hike miles through the woods have very different needs than someone who shows up and sits in a blind. Before you start to look at brands or specs, before you go online and ask strangers what camera you should buy, start with your subjects. If you're mainly photographing birds in flight, autofocus and subject tracking, frame rates, buffers, viewfinder performance, right? Those are all really important features for a bird in flight photographer. But hey, maybe you're photographing small birds, and maybe you need to give a little bit more consideration to how many megapixels that camera has, because maybe you're going to be in a situation where you find yourself having to crop a little bit more in post. If you photograph large animals, let's say lions, tigers, deer, whatever, you probably don't need the fastest camera in the world. You may care more about comfort, battery life, quiet shooting, and reliability. There is no single best wildlife camera. There is only the best camera for your specific needs. I personally believe that this is a bigger consideration than choosing a camera body. A camera body is exciting. Better autofocus is exciting. But wildlife photography demands an awful lot from our lenses. We need reach. We need sharpness. We need excellent autofocus performance. We need something that we can carry. And of course, we need something that we can afford. Now, one nice thing about camera lenses is there are a lot of quality and affordable used options. But you also want to give consideration to some other factors like third-party lenses, right? Do you have those available for your camera system? And if you do, how do they work with your camera system, right? Is there any impact to your camera features? Do you get less frames per second? Or maybe do you take a hit to your autofocus speed? Is the lens you're getting a good enough quality where you could work with it using teleconverters in certain situations? One of the biggest mistakes many wildlife photographers make is prioritizing the camera first, and then they have to buy cheap lenses because they didn't realize how expensive the lenses were in that particular system. Or they're disappointed by the lens options offered by a particular brand. Here's an important truth. A flagship camera with a cheap lens is generally not going to produce the results you're looking for. However, if you were to go with a slightly less expensive camera and go with a top tier lens, I would be willing to bet you'll be far happier with the results. The takeaway here is don't just buy a camera because it belongs to a certain brand. And don't just buy a camera without having a full understanding of their entire ecosystem, right? This includes the camera, the lenses, things like the teleconverters. Here's an important question to ask yourself before buying anything new. How is your current gear letting you down or holding you back? But be specific. Don't just say, well, I want better image quality. Because what does that really mean? Are your photos not sharp enough? Are you missing focus? Are you cropping too much? Are you missing action because your frame rate is just too slow? Are you filling your buffer too quickly? Are you frustrated with your video features or your footage? Is the camera too heavy? Is the autofocus unreliable? Is the lens selection too expensive? If you can't clearly identify the problem, you probably want to wait on buying a new camera or any other gear. Maybe you're just bored or frustrated or comparing your gear to someone else's. And this is where it gets dangerous and problems can start to arise. Without identifying your specific problems is how you end up buying gear that you don't really like or it doesn't actually improve your results. New equipment should solve a real problem. Maybe you need better autofocus because you photograph fast-moving birds in flight. Maybe you need more resolution because you're limited by how close you can get to your subjects, and cropping is a necessary part of your editing. Maybe you want to capture wildlife video in conjunction with stills, and so you need some better video performance. Those are real reasons. This is where photographers can struggle, but you need to be honest with yourself. Some photographers are action type shooters, right? They want birds in flight, wing positions, takeoffs, landings, hunting behavior, and fast movement. If that's you, speed matters, autofocus matters, tracking matters, buffer matters, viewfinder blackout matters. But even considering all of this, the camera is still only supporting your shooting style. It's not replacing your anticipation, your timing, fieldcraft, or understanding animal behavior. Other photographers are kind of what you would call a detail shooter. They want feather detail, portraits, clean backgrounds, beautiful light, and high-resolution files. Now, if that's more of your style, chances are you will want a camera geared towards your work. You may opt for a camera with more comfort, reliability, and maybe even ease of use. Other photographers are hybrid shooters, so they shoot both stills and video. They will be looking for a camera that performs really well in both departments. If this is you, video features are not a bonus, they're actually part of the buying decision. When we start talking about budget, what we're really talking about is more than the price of the camera, right? We're talking about the real budget. This is the total cost of the ecosystem. And this is where a lot of photographers, I've seen it many times over the years, put themselves in a really bad position because they forget about all those extra and additional costs that come with buying a camera. Of course, you have the camera body itself, but then you have lenses, the extra batteries, memory cards, and we know these suckers can get really expensive. A memory card reader, maybe need a new tripod or a monopod, maybe a gimbal head or a video head, maybe some rain protection, a new camera bag to hold those larger lenses, editing software, hard drive storage. Now, of course, you may already have some or a lot of this equipment, but maybe your new setup is larger and heavier and it may require an upgraded tripod. Or maybe you're looking into, getting into some video and maybe you need to invest in a new video head. An expensive camera might look great on paper, but it doesn't actually help you in the field. So a far better decision would have been to get a cheaper camera and an upgraded lens. It's easy to fall into these traps of getting better results from a newer camera body. But capturing your photos using better light, better exposure, better field craft, better timing, better lenses, and better editing is what gives you better photos. Of course, this doesn't mean that gear doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. But it matters most when it's solving a specific problem for you, not when it's being used as a shortcut to better results. Of course, after making all of these considerations, you must consider something that doesn't show up on any spec sheet, and it's different for every photographer. Something that we discussed earlier in this video, the feel and the confidence it gives you. A camera should feel good to you, comfortable to hold. It should promote confidence. And it's a tool that you can master over a period of time. Forget about brand arguments and internet fanboys, spec sheet bragging, comment section debates, and don't fall into the trap of needing the newest or most expensive camera, or buying something just because your favorite brand has released it. At the end of the day, your camera is not something you buy to impress someone. It's there to help you create impressive photographs. That is it. The key here is not to confuse brand loyalty with good decision making. Don't start the buying process with a logo or hype. Start with yourself. What subjects do you shoot? What features matter most to you? How's your current equipment holding you back or limiting you? What camera gives you the best chance to solve those problems? The best camera is the one that fits you. If you're looking for a powerful photo editor, I highly recommend checking out DxO Photolab 9. This is the software I personally use and trust for all of my photo editing, especially because of its industry-leading noise reduction and their AI masking tools that make editing faster, more precise, and more consistent. Now, if you'd like to try it for yourself, use the link that I've provided in the description below. If you decide you want to purchase it, don't forget to use my code Magnolia at the time of checkout. This will save you 15% off. You can also download their free 30-day trial. Test everything out for yourself firsthand with absolutely no restrictions. And if you really want to get the most out of Photolab, then you need to check out my DxO Photolab Mastery course at magnoliaphotographysc.com/store. In this course, I walk you through everything from noise reduction and sharpening and how to use those AI masking tools. This course includes some freebies too, including my preset collections for wildlife, portraits, nature, and landscapes. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope this inspired you and gave you some ideas for what you need to do when it comes to picking out your next camera, or maybe your next upgrade, whatever it might be. Good luck with your purchase, and let me know how you make out in the comments. And thank you so much for joining me today. Before you go, you might want to check out this next video though, right here.